In a world filled with noise and distractions, the ancient words of the Ten Commandments still resonate powerfully today. But what if everything you thought you knew about them was only the tip of the iceberg? Picture this, a mountain, shrouded in mystery, where divine laws were etched in stone, yet their meanings run far deeper than mere rules. Have you ever wondered why these commandments have stood the test of time? What hidden truths lie beneath their surface? As we peel back the layers of history, we'll uncover the fascinating contexts and stories that shaped these commandments into the moral backbone of societies for centuries. Imagine the lives transformed by these profound teachings, each commandment a stepping stone towards understanding justice, mercy, and community. But before we dive deeper, let's reset our focus. Think about how often these principles are echoed in our everyday lives, sometimes without us even realizing it. So, keep your eyes peeled and your mind open, because the journey ahead will challenge your perceptions and reveal insights you might never have considered. Are you ready to explore the untold stories behind these sacred directives? Let's embark on this enlightening adventure together. Origin and historical context of the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments, often seen as a cornerstone of moral and ethical conduct, were given to Moses during a pivotal moment in history. This event took place around 3,200 years ago, in a time when the Israelites were emerging from slavery in Egypt. The circumstances surrounding this revelation were marked by a strong desire for identity and autonomy. Emerging from oppression, the Israelites sought guidance on how to live as a free people, and the commandments served as a divine framework for their new social order. At the time, the region was rife with polytheistic beliefs and tribal conflicts. The Israelites were not alone in their quest for a cohesive set of laws. Many societies were grappling with issues of justice, morality, and communal living. The commandments distinguished the Israelites from neighboring cultures, providing them with a unique religious and ethical identity. This was crucial not only for their survival but also for their sense of community and purpose. The social structure of the ancient Near East was complex, often characterized by hierarchical systems where power dynamics played a significant role. The commandments were revolutionary in this context, as they emphasized moral obligations over mere obedience to authority. They introduced ideas such as individual responsibility and accountability, which resonated deeply with the Israelites as they sought to establish a society built on justice and compassion. Moreover, the religious context of the time contributed to the significance of the commandments. The Israelites believed they were chosen by a singular, omniscient God, which set them apart from the surrounding cultures that worshipped multiple deities. This monotheistic belief not only shaped their understanding of law but also underscored the importance of ethical behavior as a reflection of their relationship with God. In light of these factors, the giving of the Ten Commandments was not just a religious act, it was a transformative moment in the history of the Israelites. It provided a moral compass that would guide them through their struggles and triumphs, laying the groundwork for a community that sought to embody the principles of justice, mercy, and faithfulness. Interpretations and meanings over time. As centuries have passed, the Ten Commandments have been interpreted and understood in various ways, reflecting the diverse theological perspectives within Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Each tradition emphasizes different aspects of the commandments, shaping their moral and ethical frameworks. In Judaism, the commandments are seen as part of a larger covenant between God and the Israelites, forming a foundational element of Jewish law and identity. They are often studied and debated, revealing layers of meaning that continue to evolve. In Christianity, the Ten Commandments are viewed through the lens of Jesus' teachings. Many Christians interpret them as a call to love and serve others, emphasizing the spirit of the law rather than a strict adherence to the letter. This perspective has led to a rich theological discourse about grace, redemption, and moral living. The commandments are often cited in discussions about ethical behavior and social justice, highlighting their relevance in contemporary Christian thought. Islam also acknowledges the importance of the commandments, although they are not explicitly listed as such in the Quran. Islamic teachings emphasize similar ethical principles, such as justice, honesty, and compassion, which align closely with the values expressed in the commandments. The shared heritage of these three Abrahamic faiths underscores a common moral foundation, illustrating how the commandments have transcended their original context to influence millions. Beyond the religious interpretations, the Ten Commandments have had a profound impact on the development of legal systems and ethical norms in Western societies. They have influenced the creation of laws that promote justice and equality, serving as a moral compass for lawmakers and citizens alike. The principles embedded in the commandments have shaped societal values, emphasizing the importance of individual rights and community responsibilities. In contemporary discourse, the relevance of the Ten Commandments continues to be a topic of interest and debate. Their ethical teachings often resonate in discussions about justice, human rights, and moral integrity, reminding us that these ancient words still hold significance in navigating the complexities of modern life. Critiques and controversies surrounding the commandments. Despite their historical and religious significance, the Ten Commandments have faced scrutiny and criticism from various scholars and thinkers. Some argue that their moral framework is rooted in a context that may not fully align with contemporary ethical standards. Critics often point out that certain commandments, such as those regarding property and familial authority, may not adequately address the nuances of modern societal relationships. Debates surrounding the interpretation of the commandments have also emerged, particularly regarding their application in a diverse and pluralistic society. The tension between literal and symbolic interpretations raises questions about their relevance today. For instance, while some advocate for a strict, literal adherence to the commandments, others argue for a more interpretative approach that considers the underlying moral principles and their applicability to current issues. The discussions around the commandments often intersect with broader conversations about morality and ethics in a secular world. Critics contend that relying solely on ancient texts may not provide adequate guidance for navigating contemporary moral dilemmas. As society evolves, there is a growing need for ethical frameworks that consider human rights, gender equality, and social justice, prompting calls for a re-examination of the commandments' place in modern moral discourse. Furthermore, the use of the Ten Commandments in public spaces, such as courthouses and schools, has sparked legal and ethical debates. Opponents argue that displaying religious texts in government settings violates the principle of separation of church and state. This controversy raises important questions about the role of religious morality in public life and the extent to which religious texts should influence secular law. Amidst these critiques and controversies, the Ten Commandments remain a powerful symbol of ethical guidance for many. They evoke discussions about the nature of morality, the relationship between religion and society, and the ongoing search for a just and compassionate world. As such, they continue to be a focal point for dialogue about ethics, law, and the human condition in an ever-changing landscape. Interpretations and meanings over time. The Ten Commandments, originally given to Moses, have been interpreted in numerous ways throughout history. Different religious traditions, such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, have each offered unique perspectives on these ancient laws. For instance, in Judaism, the commandments are seen as a covenant between God and the Israelites, emphasizing a deep moral obligation to uphold these laws. In Christianity, the commandments are often viewed through the lens of Jesus' teachings, which focus on love and grace, prompting some to see them as guidelines rather than strict rules. Moreover, Islamic interpretations of the commandments are influenced by the teachings of the Quran and Hadith. While not explicitly listed as the Ten Commandments, similar ethical principles are found in Islamic teachings, reinforcing the idea that moral conduct is universal. Each tradition has contributed to a rich tapestry of understanding, which highlights the enduring nature of these commandments across different cultures and epochs. As societies evolved, the interpretation of the Ten Commandments adapted to fit contemporary issues. Modern theologians and philosophers have re-examined these commandments, extracting principles that resonate with today's ethical dilemmas. This ongoing dialogue ensures that the Ten Commandments remain relevant, inviting new generations to consider their implications in the context of a rapidly changing world. Additionally, the adaptability of the commandments reflects the human experience. They have been interpreted as both rigid rules and flexible guidelines, allowing for a diverse range of applications. This versatility has kept the commandments alive in moral discussions, as they can be recontextualized to fit various social and cultural norms, ensuring their place in ethical considerations. Ultimately, the evolving interpretations of the Ten Commandments reveal their significance in shaping both personal morals and societal laws. By examining their meanings over time, one can appreciate how these ancient words continue to influence modern ethical frameworks, encouraging individuals and communities to reflect on their values and responsibilities. Impact on legal and ethical norms. The Ten Commandments have significantly influenced the formation of laws and ethical standards in Western societies. Many legal systems, particularly in countries with Judeo-Christian roots, reflect the moral principles outlined in these commandments. For instance, prohibitions against murder, theft, and false witness are foundational to legal codes, showcasing how these ancient edicts have been integrated into secular law. In addition to providing a moral framework, the commandments have also shaped public policy and societal norms. Concepts of justice, accountability, and respect for others can be traced back to the principles articulated in the commandments. This intersection between religious morality and legal frameworks demonstrates the commandments' role in fostering social cohesion and ethical conduct within communities. Moreover, the Ten Commandments have sparked debates about the separation of church and state. In some instances, the presence of the commandments in public spaces has been contested, raising questions about the appropriateness of religious symbols in secular environments. This tension highlights the ongoing relevance of the commandments in contemporary discussions about morality, ethics, and the role of religion in public life. As societies grapple with modern issues such as bioethics, environmental responsibility, and social justice, the Ten Commandments continue to serve as a point of reference. Their fundamental principles encourage societies to engage in discussions about right and wrong, guiding the development of contemporary ethical frameworks. This adaptability underscores the commandments' lasting impact on moral reasoning. In essence, the Ten Commandments have transcended their original context, evolving into a foundational element of legal and ethical norms. Their influence on modern societies illustrates how ancient wisdom can inform current practices, encouraging reflection on the values that govern human interactions and societal structures. Critiques and controversies surrounding the commandments. The Ten Commandments, while foundational to many religious traditions, have also been the subject of significant critique. Scholars and thinkers have raised questions regarding the morality embedded within these commandments, suggesting that some of their guidelines may not align with contemporary ethical standards. For instance, the commandment regarding adultery has sparked debates about its strictness in a modern context, where personal relationships and marital structures have diversified. Critics argue that a rigid interpretation can lead to unnecessary guilt and shame, particularly in cases where relationships evolve or change. Furthermore, the applicability of the commandments is often scrutinized in light of modern societal values. Many argue that certain commandments, such as those surrounding coveting and property rights, reflect a time of more patriarchal and property-centric views. In a world that increasingly values individual freedom and self-expression, these commandments may seem out of touch. This raises the question of whether the commandments should be reinterpreted or even revised to better fit contemporary society's moral landscape. Another layer of controversy stems from the divergent interpretations of the commandments. On one hand, literal interpretations advocate for strict adherence to each word, while on the other, symbolic interpretations suggest a more flexible understanding that emphasizes the underlying principles rather than the exact wording. This dichotomy can lead to tension within communities, especially when individuals or groups clash over how to implement these ancient guidelines in modern life. Such disagreements can create divisions, affecting social cohesion. The impact of these controversies extends beyond individual beliefs; they often influence broader social and religious dynamics. For instance, debates over the interpretation of the commandments can lead to the fragmentation of religious communities. Different denominations or groups within a faith may adopt opposing views, causing rifts that complicate interfaith dialogue. This fragmentation can hinder collaborative efforts aimed at resolving social issues, as differing interpretations may result in conflicting priorities. Lastly, the role of the Ten Commandments in contemporary legal and ethical discussions cannot be overlooked. While they have historically influenced Western legal systems, their relevance is being questioned in light of modern secular values. Many argue that moral guidelines should evolve with society, and reliance on ancient texts may impede progress. This ongoing debate challenges religious leaders and congregations to find a balance between honoring tradition and adapting to contemporary ethical dilemmas, ensuring that the essence of the commandments remains relevant in today's world. As we dive deeper into the Ten Commandments, it's crucial to reflect on their timeless relevance. These ancient laws are not just relics of the past, they are a moral compass guiding millions today. Have you ever wondered how these commandments shape our daily lives? Think about the impact of "Thou shalt not steal" in a world driven by greed. Or how "Honor your father and mother" can transform family dynamics for the better. But here's a question for you: how often do we truly consider the weight of these words? Each commandment is a powerful reminder of the values that bind us together as a society. They challenge us to live with integrity, respect, and love. Now, imagine if everyone embraced these principles. What kind of world would we create? As you ponder these questions, remember, the stories behind these commandments offer profound insights into human nature and our relationship with the divine. So, what's the next step for you? How can you apply these teachings in your life? Stay curious, keep exploring, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your journey into understanding the profound wisdom of the Bible is just beginning. What will you discover next?